Are you looking for the best $700 PC build that's going to deliver excellent performance at 1080p? If you do, then you came to the right place. Now, GPU prices are changing every single day. They might go lower or higher, so I will keep you guys updated with this list every single month, and it's really important for you to stay until the end of the video because I will give you some important information like how to make this PC cheaper and also how to make it a bit more expensive so you gain performance, and if you want something cheaper, you don't lose much performance for the price. You will have all the links for this PC build and also more gaming desktops for you down below in the description in case you're looking for a Prebuilt PC instead. I do also have a complete guide on the best Prebuilt PCs of the month, but maybe you don't want to see that video, that's completely fine. You will have all of those PCs down below in the description as well. With that being said, let's start. With the first component that we are going to talk about today is going to be the CPU. We have the i3-12100F. This is the budget king nowadays. For $105, you cannot beat it for the price. I mean, 1080p gaming, even 1440p, you name it, it's going to be really capable of gaming. Now, if you want to do some heavy streaming or content creation, then I do recommend you going for the 12400. But for gaming, the 12100F is going to be all that we are going to need. Then for the motherboard, I picked the ASRock B660 Micro ATX motherboard. It's worth to mention that it doesn't have Wi-Fi included, so you will need a Wi-Fi card if you want that. But if you're going to be connected via an Ethernet cable, that is going to be much better, and you will end up saving some money. I think that this motherboard is actually really good for the price and it has nice features for gaming. Then for the memory kit, I picked the Silicon Power X Power Turbine 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8 of course. We're talking about a 3200 MHz CL16 memory kit, which is basically the standard for gaming nowadays. You can go with a 3600 MHz one, CL18 memory, but the performance is going to be basically the same. You won't notice a single difference while gaming. That is worth to mention. So if you're thinking of going with a 3600 MHz CL18 memory kit thinking that it's going to make a huge difference, so don't worry about it, this memory kit is more than enough. Then for the storage, I picked a 1TB M.2 SSD. We're talking about the Silicon Power A60, a really fast Gen 3 SSD. You definitely don't need Gen 4. Don't overspend your money, guys. And yes, maybe you can get something like the 970 EVO, which is a Gen 3 SSD and really fast, but at this price point you don't want to go for those type of SSDs, where you can get a really fast one for $60 and 1TB it's the standard nowadays. Maybe 500 gigs it's enough for you and you end up saving some money. It really depends on the games that you play. If you only play esports titles like Valorant, Fortnite and CSGO, then 500 gigs is going to do it. But if you want to play some high demanding games like Red Dead Redemption 2, or even if they are not high demanding like GTA 5, those are heavy games. So if you're going to play those games as well with esports titles, then you're looking for 1TB at least. Then for the graphics card, and I see a lot of people making mistakes here, I went with the RX 6600, and if you're going for Nvidia because maybe you want an Nvidia GPU, you don't want to go for AMD, I completely respect that and I understand you. However, do not buy the RTX 3050, that is a big waste of money. If we are comparing it with something like the RTX 2060, it's going to be cheaper and better. So if you're going for Nvidia, go for the RTX 2060, you're going to save around $20 from the RX 6600. And the performance is going to be a bit worse, but it's going to be still similar and a great 1080p graphics card. And you also get features like ray tracing and DLSS, but it's worth to mention that the RX 6600 will have a better performance and it also has more VRAM. Now 6 gigs of VRAM on a graphics card, it's enough for today's games. Maybe down the line 8 gigs is going to be the bare minimum, so who knows. I recommend you the RX 6600, but like I said, if you want to go for Nvidia, go for the RTX 2060. Please do not make the mistake of going with the 3050, you are going to regret it down the line. Then for the case, I picked the Thermaltake Divider 170 TGA RGB Micro ATX case. I picked this one mainly because of the airflow. You get that from each panel, 2 beautiful RGB fans that are going to be definitely great for this build, and you also need an exhaust fan, which I added. It's a non-RGB fan because we don't want to go over $700, but feel free to go with an extra RGB fan if you wanted to. And last but definitely not least, the power supply. I picked the EVGA G5 650 watt 80 plus color power supply. Now this is a B tier power supply and you don't want to go with a C tier or below power supply for this type of build because you don't want to risk your components. So if you want a power supply that's good quality, it's going to give you some flexibility for future upgradability, this 650 watt 80 plus color power supply from EVGA is going to be all that we're going to need. You paid $67 and it's going to be definitely worth the price. Now if you want something that's cheaper than this, I recommend you downgrading the storage to 500 gigs of SSD instead of a terabyte, and that is going to save you around 30 extra bucks for the same performance. And if you want to save even more, then I do recommend you going for the RTX 2060, where you save $20, and if you go with 500 gigs of SSD and a 2060, you're spending around $50 less than this PC, and you're getting a really similar performance and actually a great 1080p performance. So that's up to you and up to your wallet. Now, if you have a higher budget, on the other hand, I do recommend you going from the RX 6600 to the RX 6600 XT or the 6650 XT. This will allow you to play at 1440p without any issues. So if you're thinking of buying a 1440p monitor right now, or maybe down the line, a 6600 XT, or preferably a 6650 XT, it's going to give you much better performance, not only for 1080p, but most importantly for 1440p. If you're just going to play at 1080p, you definitely can get away with the 6600, but otherwise consider an upgrade, especially if you have a higher budget. Now, of course, if you want to spend even more than that, I recommend you going for the 12400F or 12400. If you're a content creator and you're thinking of content creation, then go for the 12400 non-F version, because this one has a night GPU included that's going to help you out in video editing softwares. But if you're not into content creation, the 12400F is going to give you all the performance that you need at a lower price if we compare it with the 12400. Now, I do recommend you going for Intel instead of AMD, especially if you want to upgrade to the 13th gen CPUs from Intel coming soon this year. But if you don't care about upgradability that much, then go for Ryzen. Get the Ryzen 5 5600, you save up some money with that CPU, and because you get an all AMD PC, you will get the SAM technology and you will be able to boost your FPS in some games. With that being said, I hope this video was helpful. If you got lost, don't worry, you will have all of the information needed down below in the description. But even if you're lost, let me know in the comment section and I will try to help you out with whatever question that you have. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.